Today I'm talking about what I'm planning to read in May. Welcome to Candlewick Library. I'm Cheryl. In April, I was doing the Christian Fiction Readathon, and I just wasn't able to get to all of the books that I wanted to get to in April. And as I was thinking about that, I decided I really just wanted to extend my April Readathon, the April Readathon that I was doing, into May, and keep marking off those books that I had planned on reading. There were a few readathons in May that I was kind of looking forward to participating in, but then I decided, no, this month I'm just going to read the books I want to read. It was pretty soon after that Anne at In Search of Wonder announced Mood Read May, and that all through May she was going to mood read. And I commented on there, this is what I'm going to do. There are a couple of books I do have as must read for May because of challenges that I have for myself. But for the most part, I will be reading from a pile of books that are left over from April, and anything new that I might get, and anything that I just feel like reading. For the challenges that I do every month, I don't have every book picked because some of them I think I will be able to fill in with whatever I read. These are the ones that I know for sure I'm going to read in May. The first is A Memory of Violets by Hazel Gaynor. My mom and I will be reading this together for our Inklings group that we do together. This is a dual timeline book in 1876 and 1912. In the 1876 timeline, it says, among the filth and depravity of Covent Garden's flower markets, orphaned Irish sisters Flora and Rosie Flynn sell posies of violets and watercress to survive. It is a pitiful existence made bearable only by each other's presence. When they become separated, the decision of a desperate woman sets their lives on very different paths. And the 1912 timeline says 21-year-old Tilly Harper leaves the peace and beauty of her native Lake District for London to become assistant house mother at one of Mr. Shaw's training homes for watercress and flower girls. For years, the homes have cared for London's orphaned and crippled flower girls, getting them off the street. For Tilly, the appointment is a fresh start, a chance to leave her troubled past behind. I've tried to participate in the Revive Christian Book Club, and for May, they're reading Dear Henry, Love Edith by Becca Kinzer, and I already had this book and wanted to read it. So I am going to try to read this in May to join in with their book club. After a short and difficult marriage, recently widowed Edith Sherman has learned her lesson. Forget love, forget marriage. She plans to fill her 30s with adventure. As she awaits the final paperwork for a humanitarian trip to South Africa, she accepts a short-term nursing position in a small Midwestern town. The last thing she needs is a handsome local catching her eye. How inconvenient is that? Henry Hobbs isn't exactly thrilled to have Edith, who he assumes is an elderly widow, dumped on him as a house guest for the summer, but he'd do almost anything for his niece, who is practically like a sister to him given how close they are in age, especially since Edith will be working nights and Henry works most days. When he and Edith keep missing each other in person, they begin exchanging notes. Short messages at first, then longer letters sharing increasingly personalized parts of their lives. So it sounds like it's going to be epistolary, and I do really love epistolary novels, so I'm looking forward to reading that with them. I'm also right now reading Devil's Gate. This is by David Roberts. This is about the Mormon handcart pioneers, and I am reading this in preparation to make some videos leading up to the Pioneer holiday here in Utah in July. And I will probably finish this in July because I'm that far in it already and it's pretty compelling. So I am having a hard time putting it down. Right now I'm reading a part of it every morning. And so this will be continued throughout the month. I don't know for sure that I'll finish it in May, but I probably will. Also, in April, I didn't get to any of my Sherlock stories for my challenge to read all of Sherlock Holmes this year. So in May, I'm really planning on getting to The Valley of Fear, at least. Emma at The Bookish Princess, her book club, they're reading Pat of Silverbush by Ellen Montgomery this month. Whenever I show one of Ellen Montgomery's books from my childhood, it just makes me laugh because they're just falling apart. I've read these books so many times. But I'm not sure if I'm going to get this or not, but I did get it out so that if I decide to reread it, that I could take part in her book club this month. Other than that, I have this big pile of books that I didn't get to in April or that I got in April and feel like reading. And so I do not plan on reading all of these, but these are the ones that I'm going to probably choose from for mood reading unless something else on my cart catches my eye. And that was A Noble Scheme by Roseanne M. White, A Lady's Guide to Marvels and Misadventures, Casino Royale, Night Falls on Predicament Avenue by Jamie Jo Wright, The Legacy of Longdale Manor, A Heart Deceived by Michelle Greep, Winter by the Sea by Julie Klassen, A Shadow in Moscow by Catherine Ray, and Death Comes as the End by Agatha Christie. This one is an Agatha Christie I haven't read yet, and my daughter has already read it. So like I said, I do not foresee myself reading all of those, but I have those all on the top shelf of my cart so that as soon as I finish one book, I can grab it off and read whatever one of those appeals to me in the moment. I have already finished one book in May, but I won't show that now. I'll just talk about it in my wrap up at the end of the month. I am excited about just reading it, and if it fits the readathon last month and I can mark that off, great. If it fits one of my challenges for the month, then I will mark it off for one of those. But if it doesn't, then that's fine too. Let me know what you are planning to read in May. And if there's any of these books that you have read that you love, that you think should be a priority, let me know.